The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we are live once again here on YouTube. Happy Saturday, November the 27th to everybody. It's we're all still trying to recover from Thanksgiving. We're all trying to definitely get ready for these fights tonight. We got two good cards on tonight in boxing. We got Teofimo Lopez taking on George Kambosos, and we got Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton in the unification fight. So a lot to look forward to, a lot to really and truthfully be excited about. And by the way, guys, if my voice sounds a bit messed up, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know, something happened. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. And by the way, I'm still in Las Vegas. I was supposed to go home last night. God had other plans, so we're still here in Vegas. And ironically, we're still here in Vegas, and we're going to be here in Vegas for probably another 2 weeks. And I'm actually going to be at the Stephen Fulton versus Figueroa fight tonight. So if anybody in the Las Vegas area is going to the Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa fight, let me know. If any of my Las Vegas viewers, if there's anybody from Las Vegas that watches this channel, let me know, because I actually do have some extra tickets, and I am trying to take someone with me. So if you want to come, let me know. But shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, take the time to comment. Anything you want to talk about, definitely do that. But listen, I don't want to waste much time because we have a long day ahead of ourselves. We got places to go, people to see, and a fight to go to later on. So yeah. But I want to get to the main topic of this video, because look, just when you think Don King doesn't exist anymore, just when you think Don King is dead and he's not involved in boxing, I always tell people Don King still exists. He's still a powerful figure in boxing. He just doesn't have a lot of fighters. But if you get into a situation where you got to deal with Don King, you're going to find out the kind of influence Don King has. So for those that know and for those that don't know, let me be the first to inform you that Don King does promote Llunga Makabu. If you guys go back to the other live where I talked about Canelo-Makabu, I mentioned this earlier. Most people don't know this because they don't know who the fuck Makabu is. You know what I'm saying? But I brought it up because I needed to put y'all on game. Now, look, Canelo is trying to avoid about 5 people and duck about 5 people simultaneously, stall out 5 people so he can under the claims of chasing greatness, he can avoid guys like Benavidez, Andrade, Bivol, them guys, Charlo, the guys that people really want to see him fight. Nobody asked for him to fight Makabu. I like Makabu. I'm a fan of Makabu, but we're calling a spade a spade. So look, he's trying to fight Makabu. Let's go to screen share. All right. Shout out to everybody here. Make sure you hit the like button. Take the time to subscribe. Super chat if you feel led to. Let's talk about what's going on right now. And let's talk about the subject matter of this particular live. So Makabu, right? We know Makabu is a fight that Canelo's wanted. They went to the Thabiso convention, and they're campaigning for that fight. Eddie Reynoso went up there and said, "Busca de campeón de crucero Makabu," and then everybody was like, "Woo!" Right? Now, I don't know if you guys know who this guy is, but this guy right here is one of the most relevant people in boxing right now, Thabiso Mchunu. Now, you guys may say, who the fuck is Thabiso Mchunu? I never heard of this guy. He got 5 losses. You can see he's got knocked out 3 times. Who the hell is this South African southpaw cruiserweight we never heard of? Well, he's really, 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 really important as it pertains to Canelo and what he will do with his career next. Now, before we move on with that, Makabu actually fought Mchunu back in 2015. He actually knocked out Mchunu in a very, very close fight in Africa back in 2015. I first learned who Mchunu was because one of the first times I watched Alexander Usyk as a pro was against Mchunu, I believe on the Bernard Hopkins versus Joe Smith undercard, and I want to check to see if that's correct. I'm pretty sure he fought him on the Bernard Hopkins versus Joe Smith undercard, or maybe it was like another Ukrainian's main event. Yeah. So one of the first times I saw Bernard Hopkins, one of the first times I saw Usyk fight, Mchunu fight, I should say, was against Usyk on the Bernard Hopkins Joe Smith undercard, and I remember that. That was actually one of the first fights I ever went live for here on YouTube. And Mchunu was a solid fighter, crafty fighter, but Usyk was too much for him. So since then, it looks like Mchunu has went ahead and been doing good for himself. Winning a couple fights. He beat Denis Lebedev, former champion, top guy at Cruiserweight, beat him. Beat Richard Bolotniks at Cruiserweight as well. Bolotniks just fought. As if you guys follow British boxing, you may know that Bolotniks fought Joshua Buatsi and had a good fight with him. He stopped him in the 6th round. So Mchunu isn't a bad fighter at all. But the reason he's relevant, as you guys can see, so this right here is the Cruiserweight rankings. These are our Cruiserweight rankings. These are what's going on in the Cruiserweight division. So we know Makabu has the belt in the WBC because it's the belt that Canelo wants to fight for in the WBC. But as you can see right there, Chunu is the #1 contender for the belt, and he's been the #1 contender for the belt for a little bit of time now. I believe since I think March of this year, or maybe even a little bit longer. He's been in line for that shot for a little bit of time. So Makabu does have a mandatory, right? And Mchunu, right, going ahead to what's going on with Mchunu. Mchunu came out not too long ago, but back on the 23rd, about 4 days ago, and he said that he's pushing for that Makabu fight. He wants that fight. He's not going to take no Canelo Alvarez money. He's not going to take no Eddie Reynoso money. He's not going to take none of that. So listen, before I get any further, I wanted to say I love this. I think this is great because forget why is Canelo. I want y'all to think about this, right? Before I continue, I want y'all to really think about this. Let's just be objective here. Nobody gives a fuck on a general scale. And I know this because anytime I talk about Usyk, people don't know anything about Cruiserweight. On a general scale of boxing fans, nobody gives a fuck about Cruiserweight. Like, I know the hardcore boxing fans do. I know a lot of people who really, really follow the sport and appreciate all weight classes do. But generally, nobody cares about the Cruiserweight division, right? So why is Canelo so hell-bent on fighting a guy that most of the general public have never heard of until maybe a week or two ago in a weight class that the general public doesn't care about, while simultaneously avoiding about 4 or 5 potential fights that people would like to see more than this one in 168, 175, divisions like that, even if you want to factor in Andrade as well. Them guys, why? Because it's a stalling tactic. It's all a stalling tactic, and I hate the fact that people just can't see it. They're brainwashed. They're drinking the no boxing, no life Kool-Aid. And look, it's not to say that Canelo can't fight. It's not to say he's not good. But come on, man. Like, it's clear to see. Like, nobody gives a fuck about Cruiserweight. But people are all of a sudden everybody cares about Cruiserweight because Canelo's like it's corny. But anyway, Chunu is pushing for the fight. He's not taking no step aside money. Now, in an interview recently with the South African news outlet, his trainer, a guy named Sean Smith, actually came out, and here's what he said. We'll read it to you guys verbatim. Smash that like button, subscribe, super chat. He said, I quote, "We won't take step aside money. We want to fight Makabu and win the WBC title. Canelo wants to fight Makabu in May. Between that, Makabu must settle the score with Thabiso Mchunu. We are in the gym, but obviously Thabiso needs to know exactly what is happening." Smith then added by saying, I quote, "This is a surprise to me, but I'm sure that he will continue to make history. Makabu has a mandatory defense that is signed with Chunu, and he will make immediate communication. They recorded a January date for the fight, but the promoter said he won't be ready for January 8th. I will immediately address this issue." So, with that being said, Makabu and Chunu got unfinished business. It may be business that you guys didn't care about until now because Canelo's scary ass is in the equation. He's trying to like fool the people and con the people into thinking that he's making history, but like this is something that's been on the books. I actually follow the Cruiserweight division. I actually pay attention to what goes on in the Cruiserweight division, and I know this myself. So with that being said, with that being established here on True School Sports, Don King, God bless America. Only in America. Don King, the Don Dada. You guys thought Don King was done? No, he's not. He's not done. Don King still runs boxing. Where's my man Marcus at? Where's Ohio runs boxing at? Ohio runs boxing. Where you at, champ? I need him here right now because look, Don King already said the Makabu. He got the date. He got the venue. He got everything involved. Maybe even TV soon. Hopefully they get that ironed out so we can see this this very prestigious fight between two African fighters. They can both punch a little bit too. So all joking aside, it's not a bad fight. But Makabu-Mchunu rematch is on January 29th. Don King says Canelo will be ringside. So hey, let's see what Don King got to say. So he said the following, and I quote: "This is going to be one action-packed WBC World Championship fight with a very big fight on the horizon for the winner. They are both warriors, and this war is for the recognition of the homeless. We'll start the new year in grand style, recognizing the homeless and helping others." Don King, look at Don King, being a beacon of hope to the world, being a beacon of hope to others, man. Fucking up Canelo's plans. I know he said that the winner is going to fight Canelo, but in the intermediate time, you know, call me naive or call me maybe being too positive, but man, like maybe in the intermediate time, Canelo Alvarez can fight. I don't know. He wants to be a cruiserweight, right? Because Canelo is saying, you know, escribiendo la historia por los mexicanos, you know, all that stuff. Why doesn't he fight one of the other cruiserweight champions? I mean, you got what's that guy's name? Gola Marion, that guy. You could fight him. You know, if you really, really want to make history, why don't you try fighting Lawrence Okoli? That would be a great chance. You know, a great fight. You know, Lawrence Okoli would present a lot of challenges to Canelo. He'd be a 6'5" cruiserweight champion, undefeated, who would have a lot of physical advantages against Canelo. Why not make that fight? Since you want to be a cruiserweight, Canelo, why do it half-assed? Why not try to go and fight him? If not him, what about Marius Briedis? He's a top cruiserweight. There's other fights in the cruiserweight division out there for Canelo Alvarez, but he wants to try to manipulate the WBC's franchise championship rule and status to try to fight the guy that is the weakest of the champions in Makabu, or at least the second weakest, because maybe Golamarian. I'm not too familiar with Golamarian, but you know, he's towards the bottom. But I would like I think if he wants to be a cruiserweight, then let's do it. Let's do it the right way. Like, don't sit here and try to wait for Makabu or Chunu. No, go fight Briedis. Maybe you beat Briedis, and then you fight the winner of that fight, and then boom, you unifying titles at cruiserweight. You're doing the damn thing at cruiserweight. So I think that'd be great. But yeah, man, Don King, look at him being a beacon of hope. Y'all, you see, hold on, guys. I'm a little sick, so you know, bear with me. I'm a little sick, but listen, sick or no sick, we're gonna get it done regardless. We're gonna talk this boxing regardless, and then we'll get to some of the fights tonight later on in the live. But shout out to everybody. I'm looking at your comments. I'll definitely get to them here in a second. Just let me get my shit off. But yeah, Chunu versus Makabu it's a solid fight. You know, they already had a pretty good fight a couple years ago. But it's listen, you got to do what's right. If Chunu was the #1 mandatory challenger and he's been waiting his turn, then we shouldn't let this guy who wasn't even in a cruiserweight just because of his prestige and name value be able to leapfrog a guy who earned the shot. I mean, Chunu, he beat Denis Lebedev, you know, the former cruiserweight champion. You know, he beat undefeated Evgeny Tischenko. So I don't want to hear it. Makabu versus Chunu January 29th, it's gonna happen. You know, and you know, Eddie Reynoso, Canelo, they don't want to fight Demetrius. They damn sure don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. They don't want to fight Benavidez, even though they would beat Benavidez soundly, but they don't want to fight him. They don't want to fight Beterbiev. They don't want to fight Bivol. They don't want to fight Charlo. They don't want to fight none of these guys. And the sad part is they could beat most of those guys I just named. But they want to fight Makabu so bad that they're going to try to talk Chunu out of not getting the shot that he deserves. They want to offer Chunu step-aside money. So it's just getting ridiculous. You know, here's what Eddie Reynoso said in an interview with Matchroom Boxing, stating, I quote, he says, right now we're in talks with the manager of champion Makabu. He has a date in February where he has a mandatory defense against Thabiso Mchunu. We're going to see if he can have a negotiations to step aside and then fight in May. That's what we're planning. We barely started negotiating that. We barely started suggesting that to the WBC. If we can negotiate that, we'll move ahead. And if not, there are other options as well. Well, at least Reynoso's admitted that there are other options. He has also stated here that one of the things he wants for Canelo to do is start taking his fights globally. So he wants to make Canelo that global superstar. So they mentioned fighting in the UK, Japan, China, and Dubai. I'm going to tell you all this. he mentioned Japan himself. I want you guys to really pay attention to that Golovkin versus Murata fight, because in the event that somehow, some way, Murata beats Golovkin in Japan, make no mistakes about it. I'm gonna tell you guys this: make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Canelo Alvarez and Murata will fight next if Murata wins. That fight's Murata is too big of a star in Japan. I mean, I said it on the one live. Murata, I think when he fought Hassan Bandam, he had upwards of like 30 million views in Japan on Japanese television. If you imagine combining that level of a star in Japan with the level of a star Canelo, you got yourself a big global event on your hands. So look out for that. You know, he mentioned the UK. You know, look, there's many fighters he could look at fighting in the UK. There's definitely, you know, I don't want to see these fights, but I'm saying these are fights that are realistic that you should consider. Maybe John Ryder. You know, John Ryder. Eddie Hearn's thrown it out there before. John Ryder, Chris Eubank. Who else is there? Maybe a Coley. Who else? Joshua Buatsi, if he wants to go to light heavyweight route. There's definitely more than enough British bodies for Canelo if he wants to go over there and finally stage a fight in the UK. So they're making their intents clear. They want to fight around the world. Japan, UK, China, and Dubai. If you're trying to fight in Japan, the most likely person in that scenario is hands down Murata. If you're trying to fight in the UK, there's about 3 to 4 people you could pick from. So there's no shortage of options for Canelo Alvarez. But man, shout out to Don King. Only in America. It's already on BoxRec. It's already on BoxRec. Where is it at? I just had it. So if you go to BoxRec, right? If you go to BoxRec, it's already there. This is Mchunu's BoxRec page. They have the venue already. Makabu versus Chunu for the WBC Cruiserweight title, a rematch of the 2015 fight where Makabu fought Mchunu and knocked him out in the 11th round. As you guys can see by the scores, it was a pretty close fight. You know, one judge even had it even before the knockout. So, you know, I guess on January 29th, just so long as there's not any like big fights like Chocolatito or anything like that, this the fight we're gonna go live for. Thabiso Mchunu versus Makabu. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just wanted to get my little thoughts on that and really just see what you guys had to think. Check the temperature of the boxing streets. You know, I see a lot of the Canelo fanboys are here in their feelings, talking about BT is a hater, BT is this. Well, listen, if I'm a hater, then why are your punk asses here? If BT is a quote unquote hater and you don't like nothing BT got to say, then why is your punk ass here? Answer that question. Like, answer me that question. Let me see. What the fuck do you mean put them in the chains? What chains? What did I say about chains? Refresh my memory. I don't remember saying anything about chains. But a lot of y'all are miserable people. A lot of y'all miserable people, and y'all like to sit here and project your miserable ways on me. Listen. Do as you must. Bad Hombre says True School hates white Mexicans. I don't hate anybody because of their skin color. If I dislike anybody, it's only because of their character. So miss me with that. Logic says that explains why I've never heard of Makabu. I mean, a lot of people never heard of Makabu. I've heard of him because I'm a freaking boxing nerd and I watch all these weight classes. It's my job, you know. I watch all these weight classes, so I know a lot of the guys. I know most of the guys that are ranked. I know all the champions, you know, and I've seen them fight 2 or 3, 4 times before most people have. So it is what it is, man. Milo says this is great for Don King. He's doing the right thing. He is straight up. He is. What's up, Jonathan? Good to see you. Makabu is only known for getting chinned by Bellew. He is, but to his credit, that was a good fight. He did drop Bellew in the first round. It was a really good fight. You know, one of the best, in my opinion, of the cruiserweight title fights I've had a chance to watch, and I've watched a lot of the cruiserweight fights, like the old ones too, like with Carlos De Leon and Evander Holyfield and Dwight Muhammad Qawi, and you know, of the cruiserweight fights I've seen, it's one of the best ones. Very, very short fight. You could watch the fight in about 10 minutes, but you know, a lot of action. Canelo is the most powerful man in boxing. He'll put Don King in chain. Oh, that's what he said. That's messed up. That's messed up. Nobody gives a fuck about Andrade yet. You won't stop bringing him up. You brought him up. You just brought up in the comments, so you care about him. So Andrade versus Canelo, make it happen. You brought it up, bad hombre, just now. If he didn't matter, you wouldn't have even typed his name in the comments. So you exposing yourself. You exposing yourself. He says, if pay-per-view numbers are low, Canelo will feel pressure to fight Benavidez or Beterbiev. Yeah, hopefully. Look, personally, both those guys you named, I think Canelo beat the shit out of both of them. I think Canelo will punish Beterbiev. I think he'll punish Benavidez. Benavidez, like I've said many times. Hold on, man. I'm gonna get this guy the fuck up out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You want to come here and talk shit? Get out of here. No, I'm not even gonna acknowledge your comment. Get the fuck up out of here. If the pay-per-view numbers are low, Canelo will feel pressure to fight. I want to see those fights, and I'm sure a lot of people want to see these fights. At the end of the day, we just want to know what's fact and what's fiction. We want to know who these guys, if these guys are who they claim to be. And obviously, look, I agree. I actually do, even though I get pissed off sometimes, I get passionate, I get animated, I do agree with some of these Canelo fans when they say, like, the Andrades should fight Charlo and Charlo should fight Andrade. I 100% agree with that. I hope that Jamal Charlo, all parties involved, Al Heyman, they all they come together, they make the fight happen, because I feel like Andrade has done his part. Andrade's done his part. He's petitioned with the WBC to get Charlo to fight him. Now the ball is on his court. Is he going to fight him, or will he vacate or try to find a way out? We'll see what happens on that front. So, if the winner of that should get more consideration for Canelo fight. They can't sit around waiting for Canelo. But I mean, let's just be real. I want all the Canelo fans to let me know in this comment section. At what point in time did y'all ever say, "Hey, I really want to see Canelo Alvarez fight Llunga Makabu," before it actually became a possibility? When did y'all ever say, "Canelo, I want to see him fight," Arsan Golamarian, whatever his name is? Come on. Shout out to everybody here. Facts. I don't think he will. He has a history of dodging the real smoke. Absolutely. Okoli will beat Canelo because of his size and punching power. I think I don't know. He's never I've never really seen Okoli hurt, but then again, I've never seen Okoli anywhere in there. He's fought Krzysztof Glowacki to win the title, so that was a great win for him. But I never seen him in there with elite opposition on a consistent basis. So I don't know how you do. But to his credit, I've never seen him hurt. He's like 6'5". I think when I checked the one time I was comparing the reaches of Canelo and Okoli, and I think Okoli was pushing about like a 12 or 13-inch reach advantage. So if Canelo would have won that fight, man, that'd be a statement. That would be a huge statement. But that would be, to me, because of the physical size and the way he's punching that cruiserweight, him being a full-fledged cruiserweight, that would just be if he fought him at the actual cruiserweight limit, that would be crazy. Slugfest says BT's hating again. He just can't help it. I don't hate, man. I tell the truth, and you take it as hate. And I'll tell some more truth, man. I'll tell you some more truth. Slugfest says he's from Ohio. Montana loved getting his ass knocked out by Josh Taylor. How about that? Okoli will be biting more than he can chew, possibly. But I think if you're looking for the biggest and best challenges in the cruiserweight division, that'd be the biggest one out there. Canelo is fighting a guy with a 28-2 record, with 25 knockouts, who is 25 pounds bigger, but he's scared. Yeah, you mean the same? You mean the same guy who got knocked out in this pro debut? That guy, the guy who got knocked out in the first 30 seconds of his boxing career. That guy. While Andrade fights the Quigley's of the world, and BT stays quiet on that. I haven't stayed quiet on that. I've actually been the loudest about that fight. I don't stay quiet about nothing. All right. Listen, I got $1 million mouthpiece that God gave me, and I use it for the good of boxing. Jason Quigley was the only guy really that was calling for the fight, that really wanted to fight Andrade. If you actually follow boxing, you would know that when Quigley fought on the undercard of Devin Haney versus Linares against Shane Mosley Jr., he won the WBO NABO title. The WBO NABO title is a regional belt. It's the same regional belt that Daniel Jacobs won on his way to becoming a world champion. It's the same regional belt that David Lemieux won on his way to becoming a world champion. Quigley won the same belt when he defeated Shane Mosley, so this put him in position to fight Andrade. And when it put him in position to fight Andrade, he actually called for the fight, and he made the fight. And is Quigley a great fighter? No. But is he a bum? No. And you know what? You want to talk about staying quiet, right? See, I love when these Canelo fans just like to bring up Jason Quigley and Mello. I see his super chat. I'm gonna get to it in 1 second, but let me just show this guy something right quickly. All right. So a lot of y'all want to always talk about, and I do this anytime a Canelo fan wants to mention Quigley. Man, anytime y'all want to mention Quigley, this is exactly what we do. We show you how stupid you are. So Canelo literally wanted to fight Quigley just last year. Last July, just before he got out of his Golden Boy contract, Canelo was trying to fight Jason Quigley. So you mean to tell me Jason Quigley isn't good enough? He was good enough to get an offer from Canelo, but he's not good enough to fight Demetrius Andrade. But you guys say Canelo was better than Andrade. So make it make sense. Make it make some solid sense, because they don't make no sense. You know, Quigley won the same regional title that that Jacobs and Lemieux won before they both became middleweight champions. He was a ranked top 10 contender, and on top of that, Quigley also, when he was an amateur, he was elite. He was an elite amateur, 240-10 as an amateur, the first Irishman to ever win a silver medal at the AIBA World Championships in the amateurs. That's not a bum. So if you call him a bum, it's not really a reflection on Andrade or the fight. It's really a reflection on your lack of boxing knowledge. But I'll forgive you, Bad Hombre, because you're a Canelo fan, and most of the time, most Canelo fans don't know anything about the sport of boxing. So we'll keep it moving. But anyway, we got a super chat. Shout out to my main man, Mello. Shout out to Mello. Thank you for the super chat. He says, "What has Andrade, Charlo, and Benavidez done to deserve a Canelo fight? Canelo can't move to cruiserweight and immediately fight the best. Makabu is a tune-up." What has Andrade done? Okay, I'll answer the first one since it's the first name, and it's the fight that he's been ducking the longest. Demetrius Andrade twice, not once, but twice in two separate weight classes, put himself in prime position to fight Canelo. The first time he was in position to fight Canelo, he was the WBO World Junior Middleweight Champion, the WBO champion at 154. Canelo didn't even fucking have a belt, and he could have fought him. And what did he do? What did I mean, Canelo do? Canelo literally fought inactive James Kirkland when he could have fought Andrade, and that was when and then not too long after that is when Andrade came out on the Boxing Voice, and that's when he started kind of getting disrespectful towards Canelo because he could have fought him there. Then they were on the same network. They were on the Zone. They were both at 160. Canelo had all the belts. He was the last. Andrade was the last piece to the puzzle at 160. And what did Canelo do again? When he was asked what about fighting Andrade in 2019, in late 2019, what did he say? In late 2019, he said, Demetrius Andrade is boring. So what has Andrade done? All Andrade done is be a world champion in two of the weight classes Canelo fought in and be in position to fight him. And that's all he's done. That's all he's done. He did the same thing that Caleb Plant did. He did the same thing that Billy Joe Saunders did. He did the same thing that Callum Smith did. He did the same thing that Makabu did. He won a world title in weight classes that Canelo competed in or wanted to compete in. And Canelo fought them. But when it came to Andrade, the same energy was not kept. So, and on top of that, he's barely, excluding maybe 2 fights in his career, 2 or 3 fights in his career, he's barely losing rounds. So all he's done is proven that whoever you put in front of him, not only will he beat them, but he'll beat them soundly. So that's what he's done. Charlo, personally, I think Charlo is overrated, but Charlo, he's had a belt at middleweight. He's been a guy that's been there. He sells tickets. He's a guy that some people want to see him fight. Now, for me personally, that's not like he's probably the lowest on the list. He's the lowest on the list. I could care less if he fights Charlo, but it's a name that is a lot more attractive than fighting Makabu. You mentioned Benavidez. Benavidez, in my opinion, I think Benavidez is a hype job, and I think Canelo will absolutely fold him up because he's tailor-made for him with the way he squares up and moves forward and all that stuff. But it's not about me. The world is bigger than I'm smart enough to know that the world is bigger than BT. The world is bigger than Brennan. The world is bigger than True School Sports. Okay. A lot of people want to see that fight, and a lot of people believe that Benavidez is the guy to beat Canelo. Now, I don't, but a lot of the boxing public does. He's Mexican-American, so he's got that feather in his cap. He's Mexican-American. He's someone that people want to see him fight because they feel like, you know what? These guys like Smith and Saunders and Plant, like these guys are champions. They're good. But the one quality that Benavidez has is that he has They feel he has the power. They feel with his physical strength, his size, his youth, his tenacity in the ring, they feel like that could be a big fight and a good fight. And a lot of people, particularly over the last month or two, over the last couple months, they've been clamoring for that Benavidez fight. And, you know, don't take my word for it. We're talking about Canelo, the same guy who said that he doesn't want to fight any Mexicans. He doesn't want to fight any Mexicans. Now, why is that? Why doesn't Canelo want to fight any of the other Mexicans? Is it because he doesn't want to share the spotlight with some of those Mexican fighters? I don't know, because, I mean, there's Benavidez, there's even a Gilberto Ramirez. There's other guys out there for him that are Mexicans that can make some big fights, some fun fights. But, you know, Benavidez and Charlo, I'll live if they don't fight Canelo. But Andrade, that's the fight that has to happen. Until that fight happens, I'll give him his credit. I will recognize Canelo as the elite fighter he is, because to say that he isn't an elite fighter, to say that he's not a pound for pound top fighter would be foolishness. But until he fights Andrade, I'm not going to respect him. I'm going to get to that later on, but that's a good fight. Castaño Charlo 2, hell of a fight. Castaño really should have been the first Latino undisputed world champion, but they took it from him. You know, but it's good. You know, I think it's good to get some clarity in the 154-pound division. You know, I don't like that the fight is in Houston, because I don't think that Charlo should be afforded that advantage. I feel like this time, because of the way Castaño performed, it should be on neutral ground, but it's not about that. It's about business. It's about money. So it is, you know, but shout out to everybody. What do you think about Boo Boo's mother talking to Heyman about Canelo's cherry picks? You mean Eddie Hearn? I thought it was pretty funny. You know, I thought it was pretty funny. She got a point. She got a point. She do got a point. At the end of the day, she just want to see her son get the opportunity, because all the other guys are getting opportunities, and they're doing the same thing Andrade's doing. People are saying he's not fought anybody. He's not stepped up. Before Caleb Plant lost to Canelo, before Caleb Plant lost to Canelo, because this is the way it works. When Canelo fights a guy that most people don't know about, or that's a champion that, you know, is on the way up, the Canelo fans before the fight say this guy's a bum, he's no good. So like they'll put him in the dirt, right? So that if Canelo loses to them, if they put him in the dirt, they just demean their name. And then when Canelo beats them, when Canelo beats these guys, then they're good fighters. So now Plant's a good fighter, but like Plant did the same thing Boo Boo did. All he did was win a world title in the weight class Canelo competed in, and he got the fight. But I was a bit disappointed in Eddie Hearn, because, you know, I get it. You made some good money with Canelo. I get it. Like you guys are friends, but like he should have just walked away, because it's not a good look. Like Canelo's not your fighter. Andrade is. It's not a good look. So it was a bit corny to me. So basically, Andrade did nothing. The question is, who has Andrade fought specifically to deserve a fight with Canelo? He fought the guys that he beat to win the world title, to put him in position to fight Canelo. Like, are y'all that stupid? Like, are you guys that stupid? Who the fuck did Caleb Plant fight to get the Canelo fight? Who did Callum Smith fight to get the Canelo fight? The best question, who did Billy Joe fight at 168 to get the fight? Most of y'all can't even tell me who the hell Billy Joe beat to win a world title at 168. Y'all talking about, oh, Billy Joe this, Billy Joe that. Man, Billy Joe sounds like be motherfucking he's Sufi. Some guy named Sufi for a world title. Miss me with the who did he fight bullshit. I don't want to hear it. The problem with Andrade, he's not stepping up, man. He's just sitting there begging for a Canelo payday. He just fought. And got a second round knockout. What are you talking about? I'm Mexican, and I don't want another Mexican like Benavidez to get knocked out. I mean, bro? I must be a weirdo, man. Who gives a fuck about where somebody is from? Make the fights. Benavidez is a top fighter at 168. Canelo is the top fighter at 168. There should be no discussions. There should be literally no discussions. One top fighter at 168 versus another top fighter at 168. Two Mexican fighters. It's gonna sell tickets. What is there to talk about? Like, why is it such a big deal? Like, why is it so hard? Whatever. Yeah, Xavier. That's what I'm saying. How is he just sitting around if he just knocked out Quigley? Nobody's done that to Quigley in 2 rounds. Shout out to my guy, Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. Shout out to you, man. So listen, January 29th, shout out to Thabiso Mchunu and Makabu. He says, you're not Mexican, so you don't understand. No. I'm not an idiot. That's why I don't understand. Because listen, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Cuban, whatever the fuck somebody's from, British, who cares? Like, who cares? At the end of the day, it's just boxing. It's just, it's a sport that means a lot to me, and I'm sure a lot of people here. But at the end of the day, two guys are going to fight. There's going to be one winner, and there's going to be one loser, and life will go the fuck on. It's not that big of a deal. We're making more of boxing than what it really is. Two guys, one guy's going to fight, one guy's going to win, one guy's going to lose, and life will go on. Like, why is it so hard to get Benavidez in the ring? Oh, my God, man. But, man, shout out to everybody here. I still love the Canelo fans, everybody. I still love you guys. We just having fun talking boxing. Got a couple cards on tonight. Hey, is anybody, just out of curiosity, is anybody watching this live from Las Vegas? If anybody here is from Las Vegas, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna be at the Stephen Fulton Brandon Figueroa fight tonight. I got blessed with some tickets, couple tickets, so I might want to take one of my subscribers with me if anybody is from Vegas, and if anybody is interested in coming to the Figueroa Fulton fight with me, let me know in the comments. Let me see. Hello, my main man. Seriously considering staying with you guys for Kambosos versus Tio. I have a honeygun versus Crayfield. Kambosos by liver splitting left hook. High pops. Well, look, man, I'm not gonna be live for the fight tonight. I'm going to the Figueroa versus Fulton fight. I got some tickets yesterday, so I want to go and enjoy the fight, and then I'll come back whenever I get back from the fight. I'll come back and I'll do a live probably late in the night. So, yeah. Gonna be a good fight. Figueroa, Fulton, two of the top guys at 122, fighting for all the belts. It's a good style matchup too, because Figueroa, he's bringing a lot of those attributes that some of Fulton's previous opponents have brought, like Adam Lopez, Leo. Like, he's a pressure fighter. He likes to come forward, but he's bigger. He's a lot bigger than those guys. So that makes it interesting. You kind of have to wonder, like, hey, can Fulton outbox him? Can he keep him off of him? Because Figueroa's a big dude. And then for Figueroa, it's like, I don't think he's ever fought anybody as good as skilled of a fighter as Fulton. If Fulton wins tonight, you got to give credit where credit is due. If Fulton wins tonight, he's got like, what does he got? Like 20 fights? How many fights he got? Fulton. He's got, at this present moment in time, so tonight will be the 20th fight in the professional ranks for Stephen Fulton. If he wins this fight tonight, this will be the 9th undefeated fighter he's beaten in his career. So you're talking about almost half your fights in the pros being against guys with no losses. And they're not bums either. I mean, he beat my boy. He beat Angelo Leo his last fight. He beat Angelo Leo his last fight. He beat Adam Lopez, who was undefeated in an 8-rounder, and he beat Joshua Greer. These aren't like bums. These are good top good undefeated fighters. You know what I'm saying? So good fight. I'll be there. But someone let me know, man. If anybody here is from Vegas. If anybody here is from Vegas and if anybody wants to come to the fight with me, I have an extra ticket. So let me know. Let me see. Toey Baller, what's up? Champion says, BT, if two fighters from the UK, we're gonna fight. We'd say just get it on. May the best man win. And that's one thing. That's one thing I can say. A lot of times people want to slag off the British fighters. A lot of people want to hate the British fighters. A lot of people want to say, oh, the Brits suck. The UK is not good at boxing. They always lose this, that, and the third. Well, you know what? Credit to the Brits, credit to the Irish, because when in most cases, when it comes to a Brit or an Irishman fighting in a big fight, for the most part, they may lose, they may win. Who cares? They're gonna fight. Come hell or high water, they're gonna fight, and that's one reason why I love the British and the Irish fighters. They're not divas like some of our American fighters. They're not divas like some of the Mexican fighters. They will come to fight hell or high water. And that's why I've always had a respect for the British and the Irish, Do you consider Teofimo undisputed? Yes, I do. I do consider him undisputed. So Devin Haney never won the belt. He never won the belt, and plus, as we found out this week when I talked to Bill in the flesh, when I talked to Devin and Bill in the flesh, I don't gotta wonder about what would they have said if I asked him this question? No, I asked him the motherfucking question. I asked him. I said, if you win this fight against JoJo, will you petition for the WBC belt? They said pretty much in their own creative way, they said no. So if he didn't win the belt in the ring and then they want to petition to try to get the fight for undisputed, then fuck, Teofimo's undisputed champion. That's the softest shit I ever heard. A fighter not fighting their own ring. I never heard nothing like that. I've never heard nothing like that. I've never heard an American fighter say, yeah, you know, I just don't want to fight another American because he's American. Nah, man. American fighters, especially, like if one guy's from Philadelphia, one guy's from New York, or you had those big inner city rivalries, man, they're gonna fight all the reasons that more to fight. Hell, if Canelo loves being Mexican, right? If he loves being Mexican, right? And now I'm gonna question how much he loves his own people. If he loves being Mexican and he loves helping Mexican fighters, why not help your fellow Mexican brothers with a nice payday, right? Wouldn't that be more advantageous and beneficial to young upcoming Mexican fighters for them to fight the top name in boxing? I mean, that's how I look at it. But I guess we don't all look at it like that, you know? I guess we don't all look at it like that, you know? We see, True. Are you coming to LA for the Tank fight? No, I'm not. I'm not going to that fight because you got to get a vaccine to go to the fight. And that's not how we roll, champ. That is not how we roll. Let's see. Kamik Aussie says, salute True School. If the fight gets blocked, Canelo should fight Benavidez or make Charlo move up to make the fight happen. Or, those are two good fights too. Or, you know, fight Better BF, fight Bivol, you know, call out Andrade and say, I'm sick of your shit. Fight me at 168. Do that. And then I'll tell you this: if Canelo actually came out and said, you know what, I'm sick of this motherfucker Boo Andrade talking. I'm sick of his punk ass. Fight me at 168. If he said that and then Boo Boo didn't fight him at 68, I would say, oh man. Like if the money was right, if the money was good and he's making good money, and Boo Boo Andrade found a way not to fight him, then I would actually turn back on Andrade and I would fucking destroy him because I've been campaigning for this fight, and then it gets presented to him, and he's making decent money, and then you don't want to get it. So put him in a position to make a decision and see if he's really what he says he is. Know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dundada. What's good? Teofimo is defending his undisputed title. That's right. That's right. Morales versus Barrera is still one of the best fights I've seen live. I was actually watching some Eric Morales. I had the honor to spend Thanksgiving with my boy Sean Tattel, you know, one of the best reporters in boxing. You know, he invited me to his house for Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving together. And after we got done eating and after everyone left, we sat there and just watched boxing for like 4 hours. So we watched a lot of Eric Morales because Eric Morales is his favorite fighter. And man, I gotta tell you, man, Eric Morales' boxing skills, I know he's a great fighter and people recognize him being a great fighter, but man, Eric Morales' boxing skills, sublime, amazing. I mean, he outboxed Manny Pacquiao. The fight that I actually watched the other night was his fight with Paulie Ayala, just piecing him up. You know, if you guys haven't had a chance to watch Eric Morales' career, I would advise that you do. Pompesa says the fans are entrenched in supporting only Mexicans, Texans, and Londoners, and are closing their eyes to understanding boxing. I bet you're the only American who can name Ted Cheeseman or Michael McKinson. That's not true. My boy Johnny, who's getting his tea right now, he knows who Ted Cheeseman is.
I know who Ted Cheeseman is.
How you feeling, Johnny? You good?
I'm feeling great. I woke up in a good mood today.
Why you in a good mood?
I had my sleep.
Ooh, that's true. Hey, everybody out there, make sure you get your rest, because my man Johnny was looking like, you know, I've been getting on him because I wanted to wake up early, but hey, he said, you know what, that waking up early shit, that don't work. So we waking up at 2. Fire Link says this is why native Mexicans do not respect Canelo, because he doesn't have the Mexican attitude. Well, I can't really speak on that, but to me, from what I can see, you know, Mexican fighters normally, you call them one of them old school Mexican fighters out. Oh man, it's gonna be World War III. Kamik Ozzy says Canelo versus Andrade at 168 at MSG would be dope. That'd be a huge fight. I don't think they'd fight there because there's for those of you that don't know, when fighters fight in New York City, there's a TV tax to put the fights on for the promoters. So the promoters don't make as much money. That's why you don't see as many fights in New York. So there's a TV tax, then there's state tax, then they got to pay their team. So it's more money that fighters aren't going to be able to keep. And I don't think it'd be there. I think if they fought, you know, MSG would be cool, but that's a Las Vegas fight. Nate Campbell. Is this the Nate Campbell? Man, is this IBF lightweight champion Nate Campbell? Because I know Nate watches the channel. I know he follows me on Instagram. Nate, is that really you? He says facts, but Canelo wants no smoke. Yeah, he don't want to. If Nate Campbell's saying he don't want no smoke, y'all can't tell Nate Campbell shit. Y'all can't tell Nate Campbell a damn thing. Have you done your Brandon Figueroa versus Fulton prediction yet? I have not. But you know what? Since you brought it up, let's get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to get to it. Good fight, man. It's a fight that I'll be honest with you. Until I got my tickets last night, I didn't really care much for it because I was going to go live for the Lopez versus Hey, Johnny, do you want to go live for the Lopez versus Kambosos fight? When I'm not here, you and Angelo can go live.
Could you set it up?
I'll set it up for you. Yeah. Would you go live for it if I?
Yeah.
Hey, what?
So.
I'm gonna pull.
I'm
gonna pull all 68 of you guys. So I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be at the fights in at the Fulton Figueroa fight. Y'all say yes or no. Do you guys want Angelo Leo, maybe Angelo Leo and my boy Johnny to go live for the fights tonight? Yes or no? They're gonna go live for Lopez Kambosos if they do. Yes or no? Let me know. If we get a couple yeses.
Another thing we can do, because BT will come back. I think that fight will happen before this one. We'll probably see if we can go link up at the strip or something, and then we could do a live there.
At the strip?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Sound good?
Well, a live just when we're talking about the fights?
Yeah.
At the strip, me, you, and Angelo and Miguel and all them?
Yeah. And then
Paul's coming too?
Yeah, I think so. I'll ask him. I think that'd be a good idea.
Okay. We're getting mostly yeses. We've got 3 yeses. So yeah, hey, they want it. They're gonna say, "Where's BT?" They're gonna say, "Hey, BT's at the fight."
BT's at the fight. He's busy. But I'll ask Angelo.
Huh?
I'll ask Angelo.
All right, ask Angelo. If Angelo says yes, hey, Angelo might take over the channel tonight, man. Angelo and Johnny gonna take over the channel. They're gonna go live for Lopez versus Kambosos. From down under. But yeah, as far as my prediction for the Fulton Figueroa fight, hell of a fight, man. You know, Brandon, very big, very strong. He can go to the body very well. We know he's going to come in shape because if you know, not to sound weird, but like, you know, his sister's very in shape and that's his conditioning coach. So she got him in dog shape every fight. Brandon did say though, like, I think I was reading things earlier where Brandon Figueroa did say that he might this probably his last fight at 122, and he's getting big for the weight class, which I believe because man, he's a straight gargoyle at that weight class. He's big, you know. So I think maybe the weight cut could affect him a little bit. That's why I think for Fulton, if the weight is a factor for Figueroa, it's very important to manage your energy wisely in the early rounds. So later on in the fight, you could pour it on and test that conditioning to Figueroa late. My prediction for the fight, I think Fulton's already seen the Brandon Figueroa style. He's just seen it with shorter, smaller guys. But I think the fact that Figueroa is a bigger target actually benefits Fulton. And I think Fulton will do pretty good. He'll punch him on the move. He might get hurt. He might get buzzed. He might get taken in some deep, dark, uncomfortable places in this fight. But I think ultimately he'll win this fight. So I'll go with Stephen Fulton to win by a close 115-113 unanimous decision. What do you guys think? Oh, we got a super chat. Shout out to my guy Haro. He says my favorite fight is Eric Morales versus Danny Garcia. That's a horrible fight. I hate that fight. It's not good seeing a legend get knocked off by Danny Garcia. That fight pissed me off. But to Danny's credit and to Eric's credit, Eric did beat Pablo Cesar Cano to get that fight. So, you know, it is what it is. Life goes on. Let me see where we at. I know I missed some comments. Andrew says, why do they have to petition? They have to petition because the WBC muddied up the waters. So the WBC made this whole franchise thing. Teofimo Lopez is the franchise champion, technically, right? Because Loma was franchise champion. When he beat Loma, he became franchise champion. So basically, a franchise champion for the WBC is pretty much like the super title for WBA. Basically means you're the guy in the weight class. It supersedes the regular champion, being the franchise champion or the super champion. Because he's franchise champion, the WBC then awarded the regular belt to Devin Haney, even though he didn't win the belt. But he beat the guy to get the belt. So because Devin Haney has the belt, it's already been said multiple times, right? Teofimo Lopez said it when I interviewed him, and Mauricio Sulaiman said it when the Boxing Voice interviewed him. It's already been. This is common knowledge to anybody who's done the research. All they got to do is. Mauricio Sulaiman said it himself. All they got to do is petition. It's as simple as beating Jojo Diaz, sitting down with Mauricio Sulaiman, writing a petition, and then he becomes mandatory challenger. Simple as that. But Teofimo is probably not going to fight at 135 after this because he's weight drained. Anybody who knows anything about being weight drained, you can see his face is sunken in. Johnny knows Tio personally, like better than me. Tio's been wanting to move up to 140 since 2017, and he's been, dragging it out over and over and over again. So that's why they got a petition to show that they actually have some intent to want to make the fight. OG Sinister says he's got Fulton on points. I agree. We'll see what happens. Should be a fun night of boxing. Yes. So yeah, a lot of people want to see you guys on the live tonight. Yes. What's up, BT? What are your thoughts of the Kambosos versus Lopez fight? I'm excited for it. Good fight. I think Kambosos is I don't know about you guys, but Kambosos has grown on me. I was going back last year. I've been talking about this fight for a whole year because when it was first thrown out there, I didn't know much about Kambosos. Then I went and I watched him and I made a video about it last November. And Kambosos is good. Like Kambosos can box. He's quick. And most importantly, I think the best quality George has isn't like a physical attribute. It's the mentality, it's the belief, it's the intangible things that I think make George Kambosos dangerous fighter for Tio. That and the fact that Tio, we don't know on accident, but we know for fact that Tio is weight drained. That man is weight drained, right? And he's stretching out his 135-pound run because he wants to knock this dude out so badly. But this will be his last fight at 35, and he's dropping the belt after this fight. There's no way. You see, if Josh goes up to welterweight, I feel he can possibly become undisputed at a second weight. His power is demonic. Who is his nemesis waiting at welterweight? Well, if he goes to welterweight, the two guys you got to come see are Terrence Crawford and Jerron Ennis. Now, look, I love Josh Taylor.
You won't be able to go see Jerron Ennis or Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford is leaving, and Jerron Ennis is on PBC, so he's got to.
Jerron's not on PBC yet, though. He fights in the cards, but he's not like formally a PBC guy.
I think that's where he's going, though.
What? Yeah, it is. It is. He's not there yet.
He's probably gonna have to do like a Terrence Crawford type run, like a Jeff Horn, one of those guys.
Yeah. If BT says Lopez is undisputed, then he's undisputed. Absolutely. Let's just pretend that the franchise belt doesn't exist. Well, shit, I wish we could, man. I mean, I'm gonna start a petition. I'm gonna start my own petition soon to get rid of that shit. We're gonna see how many boxing fans we can get to sign that damn petition. That's the petition we need to be talking about, is getting rid of the franchise stuff. Because boxing's already become complicated enough without the franchise. But I mean, you got 4 world champions per weight class. Then you got the regular champions, the gold champions, interim champions. Now you're telling me there's another one? I mean, no wonder boxing's having a hard time on the mainstream. People watch the sport and they're fucking confused. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna mute real quick. But yeah, gonna be a great night of boxing. Really excited for just this calendar year. Like, boxing's doing a great job of closing the year off. We got the fight that I want all you guys to really start watching and really start paying attention to when it does happen, because I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos about it as it gets closer. Is the big unification fight at in the super flyweight division between Jerwin and Kahas and Kazuto Ioka. I mean, you talk about two dogs. You talk about two true warriors of the sport. You're talking about those two guys. Hyro says, I love me some Ebony Jones. Who the fuck is Ebony Jones? He says Kazuto is the real king. Who is Ebony Jones, Hyro? I'm scared to Google that name. I don't know who that is. But we appreciate the super chat. Yeah, Kazuto Ioka is a great fighter. You know, I think last year against Tanaka, that was the signature fight in the career of Kazuto Ioka. Now, you know, anything now is to me is like a bonus. Like to me, if he beats Inkas, which I think he'll have a great chance to do so, that's just like you're just putting the cherry on top of what's been a phenomenal career, a historical career. You know, being one of the best Japanese fighters of the modern era. You know, definitely a real fighter and definitely someone that I would encourage all 63 of you watching to go check out, Kazuto Ioka. This is random, but what did you buy for Black Friday shopping? I didn't buy nothing, champ. You know what I bought? Nothing. I bought nothing. I was supposed to go home yesterday, and then God had some other plans, so we're going to be here in Vegas a little bit longer. But I didn't buy anything. LOL, you got the franchise belt all wrong. You literally cannot become a franchise champion's mandatory. That's why it was created. Jamal Charlo was WBC mandatory. I don't have it wrong. You're right in what you're saying, but I don't have it wrong because there is literally an interview. There's an interview on YouTube, and I'll put the clip in I'll put the clip and I'll show it to you guys at some point. But literally, Mauricio Suleiman did an interview with Ness. Shout out to Ness. Shout out to the Boxing Boys. He was on the Boxing Boys. And before the WBC convention, Ness asked Mauricio Suleiman in plain English. He said, and it was about Devin Haney-Lopez. He said, is Devin Haney getting a Teofimo Lopez fight as simple as Devin Haney just going to the WBC and petitioning for a title shot? And Mauricio Suleiman said, yes, that is a fact. That is not something I'm making up. That is not something that, I'm pulling out of thin air. That really happened. That was really said. So don't take it up with me. I don't got it wrong. If anybody has it wrong, then maybe it's Suleiman not following his own rules. But that's what he said. So I'm not making shit up. I'm just going with what the authority of the WBC says. He said, think logically. The franchise helped Loma avoid mandatory in Devin Haney and helped Canelo avoid mandatory in Charlo. The entire subject of the franchise is to duck mandatories. You're not wrong. Like, I agree with you. The whole concept of the belt is to protect the guys that make these guys the most money. But Mauricio Suleiman said himself that if Devin wants the shot, all he's got to do is petition. Just petition. That's why I asked the question. I didn't go to Bones Adams' gym. I didn't go to Bill and Devin and say, hey, I'm just going to ask this question to be a Teofimo fanboy, or I'm going to ask this question just to be a dick. I asked the question because it's what Suleiman said in the interview. No, but Mauricio Suleiman telling me that the sky is green and him telling me what the rules are to the business that he runs are two different things. The sky being green or blue. The sky being blue is a concrete fact. That's a fact no matter what Mauricio Suleiman says. He has no bearing on the sky being blue, pink, green, white, gray. Only God himself has authority over that. But what Mauricio Suleiman does have authority are some things in this world, like the WBC, the World Boxing Council, the business that he runs. And if someone asked him what to do and that's what he said, then we're going to go with that. Because that's what he said. I'm not making this shit up. The franchise was made so unification bouts can happen right away. Let me see what I will say. Triple single. Gael Estrada is the mandatory. He is ducking. Wrong with side. Oh, man.
Didn't he already beat Wrong with side twice?
Who, Gael?
Yeah.
He beat him once. Got outboxed the first time. But yeah, man, like, don't compare the sky being blue to you guys are literally mimicking the WBC lies. No, I'm not mimicking no lies. I don't mimic nobody. I barely watch other people on YouTube. I don't mimic anybody. I'm on myself. Literally, that's what he said. That's what he said. So don't take it up with me. Don't have a problem with me. Go to fucking him. Go to his Instagram, message him, email him. Do that. If you see him in public, talk to him. But is what it is, man. Hey, bro. Anyway, either way, look, petition or no petition, right? If Devin petitions for it, which he said he's not, his dad and him said they're not. If they don't petition for it, or if they do petition for it, it doesn't matter. Teofimo Lopez is going to 140. What are your thoughts on Jay Harris losing again to an unproven Mexican in Flores? I haven't. Did he? When did he lose? Did he fight yesterday? Was he on that Dubai card yesterday? You know, shout out to everybody here at your boy BT, the Untouchable, True School Sports Empire. It doesn't matter if you're in Las Vegas like me, or South Florida, or Mexico, or the UK. I love everybody. I love all the boxing fans, even the Canelo ones, even though I talk trash about them sometimes. Jay Harris, man. Let's see what he do. Yo, man, it was yesterday. He got knocked out in 6 rounds again, bro. Jay Harris can't beat these Mexicans. That's unfortunate, man, because I had hope for Jay Harris. When Jay Harris fought Martinez and he came on strong in the back half of that fight, I thought that he was gonna parlay that into his career getting better. But I guess that fight must have took something out of him, because he ain't been the same since. Before that fight, Jay Harris had never been knocked out, and since that fight, he's been knocked out twice in back-to-back scenarios. So I think that fight took a little bit out of him. Rita says, "Hey, is Johnny gonna go live tonight for you?" I don't know. He has to ask Angelo, because before I got these tickets to go to the fight, my original plan was to be here with Angelo and Johnny to go live for the fight. Right? I wanted to go live for the fight. They don't want to come to the fight with me. They have their reasons. It is what it is. But they're gonna go. They're gonna be here watching boxing any damn way. So if they're here, they can take over. The entire inception of the franchise is to avoid mandatories. Boxing BT. Stop being so damn gullible. You think all the Charlos needed to do was petition to get the Canelo fight? Did he? Well, maybe not. But did he petition it? Did he petition to get the Canelo fight? Because if Rizzo Suleiman said that, and you have to petition, or if it will help you be petitioned, the question now it's not on Suleiman. If Suleiman establishes what the rules are of the WBC, or what the fighters can do to make these fights more of a reality, then the responsibility falls on the fighters and their team. And then the question you got to ask is, did the fighters and their team do all they could to get the fight? If the answer is no, then you place blame on the fighter that didn't they're supposed to. Now, if the fighter says, I want to petition, and Suleiman says, oh, well, you can't petition and change the rules, then you criticize Suleiman. But if the fighter doesn't try to do that, then it's null and void. Are Johnny and Angelo not going to the fights? No, they're going to stay home. They're going to stay here and go, and they're going to watch Teal. He said it himself. Like, y'all are over here talking to me, talking about, oh, BT, well, you should know this and you should know that. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. Yeah, Dundada says the same thing happens in WBA. They were changing as the rules went along. Yeah, and they got criticized for it. So if you're the fighters of these teams, at least put them in the position to where if they don't follow their own rules, they get exposed for it. Canelo has been talking about Charlo. I bet it will happen soon. It probably will. If Canelo has to take an intermediate fight because he's waiting for Mchunu and Makabu to get the thing situated, then maybe that could be an intermediate fight. And it'd be a dangerous one, but one that he should win. But hey, we're here. It's your boy BT, the Untouchable, True School Sports Empire. We're live here in Vegas, going to the fights. We might have a live later. I don't know. Did you ask him yet?
What? No, I'm busy right now, bro.
Oh, I'm going to ask him. You see, I'm going to text Angelo, see if you want to do it. Oh, shit. It's funny. Yo, Angelo just messaged me on Instagram.
What did he say? He
says, I thought you were leaving. And I'm going to say, I thought so too. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. All right, my bad, guys. I was in the middle of something, but yeah, I just hit up Angelo myself, so we gonna see we're gonna see what Angelo says. But Gaio is a franchise. Nobody complains. I don't get it. Gaio is the franchise, and nobody's complaining because he's gonna be involved in a fight that people actually want to see. He's gonna be fighting Chocolatito. But you know, it is what it is. Listen, 115, all these guys are gonna fight each other. Like Gaio's gonna fight Ioka or Nkas or whoever. These guys will all fight each other because that it's the only money you can make. What do you mean in your question statement? Don King is blocking the Canelo-Makabu fight for the Makabu rematch. Mchunu is mandatory and he is practicing his rights. He's blocking it. Don King's the one staging the fight. And Chunu can practice his rights, but if Don King don't get the venue, because Don King's the promoter, he's putting the money up. If Don King don't get the venue, if Don King don't get TV, if Don King don't agree, the fight don't happen. So that's what I mean. Sandieso Shakespeare Coda. It's a cool name. Shout out to my guy Reg Johnson with the $5, I think Canadian. That's Canadian super chat. Shout out to you, champ. I appreciate you. And plus, I also said that about Don King because it's Don King. Don King might put this fight on, and then he might go do something else. You don't know a Don King. Don King's a very unpredictable person when it comes to boxing. I mean, look at like Trevor Bryan. Trevor Bryan had a fight in January against Stavern, and he hasn't fought since. You don't know what the fuck Don King's gonna do. He says, "Hold up, Don King is still alive." Yes, he is, champ. Don King's alive. He lives in I think he lives in West Palm Beach, Florida, in a big ass mansion. He's definitely still alive. He is alive. Yeah, he's alive. He's alive and very well because he still has influence with the WBC. Because I'm pretty sure he knew Mauricio Suleiman when Mauricio Suleiman was a kid. Because anybody who knows boxing knows that Don King was good friends with his father, Jose. Had a lot of power with Jose. He also has a lot of pull at the WBA. So Don King don't have a lot of fighters. But when his fighters are involved in fights of any sort of consequence or importance, man, you'll see the influence of Don King. What fight are you going to tonight, bro? I'm in Las Vegas, so I got tickets to go to Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa, and that's the fight I'm going to. You know, but we might still get a lot. All I'm waiting for is confirmation from Angelo Leo. Him and Johnny might go live for that Tio versus Kambosos fight, which I'm excited for. I think if Kambosos can get Tio past the 6th, 7th round, I think he's got a good chance to win. If he can and sustain as little damage as possible. But I just don't think he will. He's too front foot dominant. He's going to want to exchange. He's going to want to try to prove a point, and I think it could be to his ultimate detriment. Hyro says, will you see pretty women at the fight? Oh, that's a foregone conclusion. It doesn't matter if you go to a Showtime card. It doesn't matter if you go to a pay-per-view card. Any boxing match you go to, especially in Las Vegas or Texas, or definitely South Florida, you're always going to see fine females. That's a given. There's more women on this earth than there are men. But listen, it don't matter if I see fine women or not. You guys know who our eyes are set on. We're not gonna be sidetracked. What time are you going to the fight? Aren't they filling up the arena already? No, it's like 3:00. It's like 3:00. The main card on Showtime starts at like 6. So I'll probably head over there around like 4 or 5. That's dope that you met some good people in Vegas like Johnny and Angelo and became good friends. If you ever come to NYC for a big fight, mi casa, su casa. Oh, for real? Okay. I'll keep that in mind, John. I appreciate that. Whatchamacallit? I don't know when I'm going to New York again. Like, I like New York. I haven't gone to New York in almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years next December that I've been in New York. The last time I was in New York was
They need all that vaccination.
No, not true. I was in New York September of 2019, but the last time I was in New York for boxing was 2017. What were you saying, Johnny?
They need all that vaccination.
Yeah, they got all them. They got crazy vaccine policies there. So, like, I don't know about all that. Baki Hamna says the only woman I have my eyes on is Sinisa. Hey, absolutely, champ. I'm on the same wavelength. In fact, I'm even just she may be in LA, but she's never too far away. I'm even wearing the Sinisa Estrada shirt that you gave me that years ago. But I'm going to her fight. What was it December 18th? I'll be at her fight, so that should be a lot of fun. He says it's crazy. New York is crazy, but it's not as fucking crazy as here in Australia. Oh man, I heard in Australia that stuff is hella crazy. The vaccines and all that stuff. From what I heard is that they'll stage the fight on the month end of January, and then Canelo's team can fight the winner. Also, Mchunu's team said they'll even take the situation to court if it doesn't happen. I've heard you're not wrong. You're right with everything you're saying, but my point still stands. Canelo was trying to fight Makabu off rip. He was trying to fight him off rip. He's not going to get a chance to fight him off rip. Therefore, Don King has become a factor in the fight. Maybe I got a little bit carried away saying he's blocking the fight with my title, but, interfering. Maybe interfering was a better word. He says, you already know what it is when it comes to me. Hey, Hyro. He actually messaged me last night. Jesse Hart, I was up at like 2 a.m. last night, and Jesse Hart just randomly DM'd me on Instagram. He don't even follow me. He don't even know me like that. But I guess he saw maybe I was watching his stories or something, and he clicked on my profile, and he just messaged me. He said, let me see. What did he say? He said, I liked your last video about my last fight on your channel. You and your dad were real cool. Jesse Hart, look, see, man, Jesse Hart, where we at? I don't know if y'all can see that. And then you see it's Hollywood Hart, right? Oh, shit. And there's his profile. So shout out to my guy, Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart, hopefully he can keep winning some fights and get back into contention, man, because it's crazy in boxing how, like, you could just fall off so quickly. Like, at one point in time, 5 years ago, he was a top prospect, top rank, promoted a lot by Bob Arum and whatnot, and then you lose a couple fights, and then you get cut, and then you're fighting on random promotional shows in your hometown, and not even the main event. It's life comes at you fast. Yeah, Alicia Bumgarner, shout out to her. Is Jesse Hart the guy that got whooped by Zerto? Yeah, he's the guy that lost to Gilberto Ramirez twice. He fought Gilberto. He fought Desmond Nicholson, knocked him out to win the NABO title. He fought Deshaun Johnson, the tough journeyman, and had a really fun fight with him. In his last fight, he just beat Mike Guy, who's a tough, durable guy at 168. So, but you got to give a guy like Jesse Hart credit. Like Wacky's movie clip says, he didn't lose to no bums. He lost to good fighters. He lost to Joe Smith too. Yeah, he lost to Joe Smith. He lost to Joe Smith, and he lost to Gilberto Ramirez. Them guys ain't bums. And the good thing is Jesse still had I'm pretty sure he can't be no older than 30, 31 or 30. Let me see. How old is he? Oh, shit, he's 32. Okay, he's 32. So he's not old. There's still time for him to salvage what's left of his boxing career and still make a name. I wanted to see Jesse Hart fight Berlanga because Top Rank was talking about Jesse Hart fighting Berlanga before Berlanga fought Desmond Nicholson. But then when they saw how bad he looked against Nicholson, they said, we ain't making that fight. Yes, please block that garbage fight. Hey, I hope so, man. If the fight gets delayed enough, if Makabu-Mchunu fight and like it forces Canelo to take an intermediate fight, which is better for the boxing fans, then God bless Don King. Don King, the savior of boxing. Joe Smith Jr. is the dark horse at light heavyweight. Even him, I would like more than Makabu. Like, why not fight him? Will Everton beat Brentford tomorrow? Hell no. Everton is trash. And I'm speaking as a proud, I'm very disgusted with my team right now. I only get angry because I love my team, but Everton is so horrible right now. We're a disgrace from top to bottom, from the club, from the backroom staff to the management, to the director of football. It's just a mess. The whole club is a mess. It's deeper than just the field. It looks like we are getting the John Ryder fight after all. With who? Canelo? Shit. I'll tell you this: if Canelo has to take an intermediate fight while he waits for Makabu and Mchunu, don't even be surprised if he fights John Ryder next in the UK. They've been going on and on about wanting to make their British debut. He's got a lot of fights. He's fought a lot of British fighters, so he's got a big fan base out there in the UK. Don't be surprised. Also, please check out my boy Azinga Fuzio fighting as the co-main event on the Kambosos Tio undercard for the vacant IBF super featherweight title. Absolutely, I'm very familiar with him. I know his last fight he fought on the Haney Linares undercard and he beat Martin Ward. So it was a good win for Azinga Fuzio. He's got a tough fight tonight in he's taking on a guy in Konishi Ogawa, who many people may remember. Ogawa fought Tevin Farmer. He beat him for the world title, but then he tested positive for like PEDs or whatever it was.
He ain't beat him. I thought Tevin Farmer won that fight.
Huh?
I thought Tevin Farmer won that fight.
You thought Tevin Farmer beat Ogawa?
Yeah.
Hell no, bro.
Ogawa?
It is what it is, man. That's a good fight, though. I'm definitely gonna check that fight out when I get back from the fights. Bernard Hopkins found out real quick that Joe Smith Jr. wasn't no bum. Man, y'all remember the press conference when Bernard Hopkins was talking all that common man stuff? He was like, you know, he said Joe Smith when he was up there, he said a word. He said common. He said he's a common man. And then he was like, he pointed at Joe Smith and he was like, you see, common man, special man. And then Bernard Hopkins proceeded to get his ass knocked through the ropes. That's the last image of Bernard Hopkins in a boxing ring. Him getting his ass knocked out through the ropes. But credit, hey, at least Joe Smith has gone on to become world champion because when that happened, nobody knew who Joe Smith. Very few people knew who Joe Smith was. You know, he was just a good slugger. Truth loops, huh? Man, he knocked out from Farah, killed from Farah. I'm a new sub, bro, but I'm already digging your vibes. Well, listen, Truth Loops, I would say to you, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the untouchable True School Sports Empire. It's a great place to be. It's the home of boxing, man. I know here on YouTube we have a lot of channels that they don't really love boxing like they say they do. And, you know, I do a great job along with, you know, my dad and Johnny and sometimes even Angelo. We all do a great job of producing great content here on the channel. Every Saturday we go live for fights. Like I'll go live. I'll have the fight on the background, and we'll interact with people as the fights are going on. It's a great time. Tonight we may have that, we may not. So you'll get a taste of what that's like if you come back later on. But it's a great place to be. Been interviewing a lot of top names recently, like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Rolly, Javante Davis, Mickey Bay. And the list goes on and on and on. So look, this is the place you want to be, man. So there may be channels that are bigger, but you know, there's not much channels that love boxing like the way we do here. And hopefully you'll become a regular here and it'll be a lot of fun. I promise you, there won't be any channel where you have more fun. If Kambosos wins, boys, the Aussies will be screaming all the haters down. Oh man, if Kambosos wins tonight, I can just listen. If there's one thing I know about the Australian fighters from being live for all those Tim Tszyu fights, and Johnny will tell you too because he was with me. Them Australians, they support their fighters, and I feel like if Tim Tszyu continues to win in impressive fashion and get better and become champion and things like that, I feel like he's gonna be like the Canelo of Australian boxing. He kind of already is the Canelo of Australian boxing because Australian boxing isn't that big. Australian boxing isn't big. Australian boxing doesn't have a lot of people. But like I could see Tim Tszyu being the kind of guy that if they lift the travel bans that brings like 2 or 3 or 4,000 Australians, 5,000 Australians to Las Vegas. Like I think he's got that kind of drawing power and support from the Aussies. He says, "Me too. I'm a new sub and I respect your insight, bro." Well, I appreciate you, Carl. Hopefully you continue to come as well. Dundada says you and Champside have the same interview with Haney, but somehow it has different context. What did I haven't seen what did Champside title his video like? What was a different context? You know, I had a chance to meet Champside in person. We didn't really talk much, but seemed like a cool guy, young, down to earth guy, trying to make his way in the boxing world. So hey, respect to him. You know, the Roman gladiator Kambosos is coming for Teofimo's head, man. George Kambosos he's been talking that cash shit.
I don't know about nowadays, but Australia got a huge boxing history in Aboriginal fighters from back in the day. They do. You're right. Australia has very underrated boxing history. If people have really done their homework, they would know. But you're right. But I think Tim Tszyu, I'm telling you, I think Tim Tszyu, because of who he is, how he's been promoted, being Costa Tszyu's son, having that support at such a young part of his career, I think he's gonna be like, if he wins and can continue his momentum, he's gonna be like the Canelo of like Australia, like where he's gonna bring a lot of people to the States for big fights. Oh man, y'all don't like Champ Side. Okay. Well, I'm not like the most familiar with his content. I've seen stuff here and there. I'm not gonna really comment on things I don't know. All I can comment on is what I saw in person. And what I saw in person was a guy who was just there to do his job, get his content and go home. He's not like a bad guy from what I saw in person. With all the BS going on in Australia right now, bro, them Aussies need something to cheer for. I wouldn't be mad if Kambosos wins tonight. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're right. There's a lot of craziness going on in Australia, and if George can pull it off, man, he's gonna be a national hero over there. He's gonna be big because of what's going on over there, because of how crazy the COVID-19 is over there, and because of how they got curfews and level 1 lockdown, level 2 lockdown, all that nonsense over there. It's
so their pandemic is like basically starting pretty much.
No, it's been going on.
No, but for us, when we had a lockdown, it was like last year.
Lockdown? I didn't know them lockdown. Can't nobody fucking lock me though. So I was like, they try to put curfews, Johnny. They try to put curfews on people in Miami, and man, I was still going outside. What are they talking about? Gonna put a lockdown on me. I'm an American citizen. It's a free damn country. Jeff Finch was a great champion. Tim needs to learn how to knock guys out. Yeah, that was a criticism we had last fight. He was pushing his punches a little bit. His conditioning needs some work, but there's definitely some things to work with, and hopefully in time.
And his shots were a little wide.
Yeah, his shots were a little wide, but in time, he's 20 fights in, so there's still time to tighten those things up, and it better be soon because he's gonna step in with one of the top American guys soon. Or an Argentine guy. Champ size title is Teofimo unfocused, ducking undisputed, and living off Loma win. That's what he said. That's not cool. That's not cool. But hey, that would explain because I did go on his channel recently. That would explain why Bill Haney was giving him some exclusive access the other day. Bill Haney likes him. Bill Haney was like, hey man, all you media, tell the motherfucking truth about Devin. Y'all gotta tell the truth about Devin. That would explain why every 5 seconds he mentioned Champ side. Shout out to brother Champ side. But he was cool with me too. Like I don't have nothing bad to say about Bill, but he showed Champ side a little bit of extra love, so that would explain it. He's on Bill Haney's side. He's on the Haney side. I'm not on nobody's side, man. I just want to see these fights happen. Damn right, dude. You damn right. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world, and people want to sit here and I don't want to get into the politics, but man, like people should have the freedom to choose what is right or what is wrong for them. If they want to wear masks, that should be their choice. If they don't want to wear a mask, well, that should also be their choice. I feel like all those years when we had like more freedom, or at least the illusion of having more freedom, I feel like people should have been taking care of their health and taking care of themselves. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you're paying for it dearly now. So it is what it is. Will this be Australia's biggest win in the sport, comparable to Costa Tszyu's win? If he beats Teo? Potentially. I mean, Jeff Finch was a great fighter. I know his name. I can't say I know the most about his career, but let me see. There's so many fighters and boxing guys. Like, there's so many fighters that I gotta take time to study. Like, I know the names, but I don't really know everything about them. But Jeff Finch, he lost to Zuma Nelson. He had a draw to Zuma Nelson.
There's probably tremendous great fighters that we'll never probably hear of until we die.
Huh?
There's probably so many fighters that
there's so many fighters
that will probably die and not know about.
That's how much boxing history there is. I'm sick of all you mask and vax queens. Hey, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'm right there with you. You know, you can ask Johnny how pissed off that makes me. The whole mask thing. You're going to just live life, and you can't even go to the supermarket without people looking at you funny. If Kambosos wins, he'll have all the belts and will have godlike status here in Australia. We need something at the moment. They do. This will probably be as big as bigger than when Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao. What do you guys think? What do the Aussies think? Because I know we got a couple Aussies in here. What do you guys think? Nothing beats Lionel Rose versus Harada. That was a huge win. Huge win. Biased channels like that maybe you want to stop watching YouTube boxing. Well, that's why for me, like, I don't really watch a whole lot of YouTube channels. I mean, for me right now, the only channels that I've been watching regularly have been ITR Boxing, YSM Sports Media, Bushido Boxing, and Fight Hype. That's it. Jamil Parker runs YSM. Those are my like 3 or 4. Those are my 3 or 4 channels right now. Bushido Boxing, YSM Sports Media, ITR Boxing, and Fight Hype. Those are the only 4 I watch. And I only watch Fight Hype because of Sean Zattel. I know Jeff Horn didn't win the fight, but he was awarded the fight. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Truth Loop says, I'm rooting for you Aussie boys. This is bigger than boxing. Man. Huh? To who? Fanfara? Oh, Zarafa. Yeah, he lost to Zarafa. Huh? Yeah, he beat Manny Pacquiao just to lose to Zarafa. You don't think Michael Montero is fair? He is fair. I like Michael Montero, but I'm just telling you the guys that I've been watching recently. I've watched Montero. I'm really familiar with his channel. Hey, Johnny. Can you turn the light on or oh, never mind. Hold on, guys. I like Montero. I think he's a good channel. I'll just put these blinds. I like Montero. I think he's a good channel. He's been consistently good for a long time. You know, we've crossed paths on a couple of occasions. I respect his work, but I'll be honest. I haven't been watching Montero. I'm only telling you guys about the people that I've been watching, like recently. I'm talking about like over the last month. My 3 go-to channels, excluding Fight Hype because they're like an interview channel. My 3 like YTBC channels go-to that have been YSM Sports Media, which is like a Jamil Parker, this guy in Philadelphia. He runs YSM Sports Media. So if you want to know anything about what's going on in Philadelphia, you go to him. ITR Boxing, who I like because he talks about stuff in boxing that nobody talks about, and he just talks about boxing. And then Bushido Boxing because he makes great videos. So those have been my 3. Reggie Johnson, shout out to you again with the $5 Canadian super chat. Shout out to all my brethren out there in Canada. Showbiz the adult keeps 100% on his boxing. Yeah, I disagree with some of the things he says, but you know, shout out to him. He's doing his thing. Costa Zoo was the last undisputed Aussie. Would you consider Kambosos undisputed if he beats Tio? Yes, I would. Because unlike Haney, he actually earned the mandatory challenger spot and is fighting the guy who won his belt in the ring. So yes. If George Kambosos wins, he is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. What a crazy thing what a crazy thought to consider. George Kambosos with all the belts. Let me see. Hyro. Scroll up, BTR Hyro. Tim Tszyu will get exposed. I think Castaño has fought better competition. He doesn't want that Charlo smoke. Charlo's going to prove that he needs a man strong. Needs man strong. That he's a strong man. Is that what you mean, Hyro? Oh, it's man strength. Okay, I got you. Once Loma started putting pressure on Tiafimo, he was making diamonds. You damn right. Tiafimo became a straight diamond in the back half of that fight. In the 12th round in particular. No one wanted to fight Tiafimo, and George said, fuck yeah, I'll fight him. He did. He absolutely did. And credit to him. He's got a fan in me. I like George Kambosos. Sometimes there's some fighters and boxing guys that are when they talk, I get so inspired to just do great in life watching them talk. He's one of them. George Kambosos, Tyson Fury at times, Caleb Plant at times. Just a lot of fighters that are inspirational. Cash Cow says, "Showbiz the adult is terrible." Yeah, I know a couple people that think the same thing, but he's doing his thing. People like him, and if his channel is helping create boxing fans, then it's not the worst thing in the world.
That's why we got different channels.
That's why there's different channels. Some people, I know people hate me. I know a lot of people say, "Man, fuck True School Sports. He's a hater. He hates Canelo. He hates Mexicans. He hates the British. He hates the blacks. He hates the Americans." Like I've gotten criticized for hating every fighter and every nationality in boxing, but I'm just a boxing fan. Just a boxing fan. Just a box. At the end of the day, I'm just a boxing fan. Tim Zoo's weakness is lateral movement, BT. Yeah. That's why I think Tony Harrison will be a tough fight for him. No one's speeches are more inspirational than Shannon Briggs. Oh man. Shannon Briggs get you so fired up you want to fight 15 men at one people. Let's see where we at. What do you disagree with? What do you disagree about with Showbiz? The only thing that I disagree with him that I've seen recently, because I really don't watch his channel like that. I don't really be watching these channels like you guys think. I watch like the 3 channels I named: ITR Boxing, YSM Sports Media, and Bushido Boxing. That's been my steady diet of channels on the YTBC for like the last month and a half. Because I barely have time to watch YouTube videos because I'm busy with my own channel. But when I do, those are the 3 channels I've been going to recently. The one thing I seen recently that from Showbiz that somebody sent me a clip of is that he's basically saying that Demetrius Andrade got to fight somebody to get the Canelo fight. We have differing opinions on Demetrius Andrade Canelo. That's about it. But other than that, I can't really say much more than that because I'm not familiar with his content enough to say. True School Sports Showbiz is a great person from what I know. He has great boxing knowledge. I don't like his media persona and communication. Yeah, I know. One of my friends. He said that he sounds like a Pokemon. Have you ever watched the Boxing Rant? That's my favorite podcast. I just watched it recently because my boy Johnny. I mean, I've watched them on and off for years.
Johnny loves the Boxing Rant.
Johnny Cortillo, my friend Johnny, he loves the Boxing Rant. So I watched the recent. I watched most of the recent episode they did where they were talking about Kid Galahad and Kiko Martinez.
There's some funny puppets.
Huh?
They're funny as fuck.
They are funny. Let's see. Don King playing for the team and forcing Canelo to face true killers. That's what we can only hope. We can only hope, champ. We can only hope. I agree with that assessment. Tia was definitely pressured on that second half of the Llunga fight. That being said, I ain't mad at him for not rematching Llunga. Llunga did it to himself. He did, and I'm glad you have sense to point that out because everybody wants to have all this sympathy, all this empathy. But Llunga's the one. Egis Cleveland is one. They didn't want to put the rematch clause in, so that's on them. Showbiz is a cool dude, but too biased on some things and doesn't like that. And I don't like that he ranks women's boxing with men. Does he really? Yeah, you can't do that. That's foolishness. The LWBC pushed in there that Breland poisoned Wilder to give Wilder an excuse to losing to Fury, and that tarnished Breland's good name in boxing. No, it didn't. It may have tarnished his name in boxing to idiots who don't know fuck all about boxing, but anybody who's actually involved in boxing that personally knows Mark Breland, his name is as good as gold in boxing. I know about 5 people I can name off the top of my head in boxing right now that know Mark Breland, and all they say are great things about Mark Breland. And generally, you only get good things about Mark Breland. BT, do you watch Fanon's crazy ass? No, I don't watch him like that. I'm telling you, we don't be watching these channels like you guys think. Like, I'm that zoned in and that locked in and focused with what I gotta do. That I don't got time. And when I do, The 3 to 4 channels I told you guys about, those are the 4 channels that I've been going to consistently for the last 3 to 4 months. ITR Boxing, YSM Sports Media, Bushido Boxing, and Fight Hype. That's it. If I didn't name those 4, I'll not really watch them like that on a consistent basis. I don't like anybody with a persona. Well, hey, you got to be yourself. You got to be yourself, man. Like, at the end of the day, I always tell people, like, the best that you could do and the best that you could be in this world is be yourself. And, you know, I've done it. It's worked for me. You know, I've met a lot of lovely people and got to a lot of great places in life just being myself. Like, the way I am right here on YouTube, I'm like this way in real life. I'm the same way. Do you think Wilder would ever apologize to Breland? Maybe later on, but not now. What about Johnny's comeback news? He's a bully. He claims to be an expert. He is a fake gangster. Well, look, I know I've known Johnny. I know Johnny Boy for years. I think he gets really extremely radical at times. A lot, not at times, a lot. Almost every video, he gets really extreme. But I have never had a problem with him. I think he does have good boxing knowledge. I just think sometimes his emotions and his feelings get him in trouble at times. But other than that, Johnny Boy's a decent guy. Just he's just too unfiltered and animated and disrespectful at times. You know, I gotta say that I like Johnny Boy, but I saw a clip recently. He was disrespecting my boy Sean Tatal. I didn't like that, but you know, it is what it is. BT, I like you because you're real. Most of these channels are fake and pushing agendas. Absolutely. Listen, y'all know real when you see it. Like I'm just here for the boxing, man. I'm not here for all the hoopla. I'm not here for for all the bullshit around boxing. I'm here for the boxing. That's why tonight I'm gassed. I'm going to a unification fight. I'm going to a fight where you're getting 2 guys that have earned their way to their place in the division. They didn't get elevated there. They didn't get propped by the media. They earned. Fulton earned his way to get to where he's at. He beat some killers to get to where he's at. He beat Adam Lopez in an 8-rounder, which is hard to do because Adam Lopez is a good fighter, a tough fighter to fight in an 8-rounder. He beat my boy, you know, a guy that I still think, when it's all said and done, could be the best guy in this division, and Angelo Leo. I just think Angelo got to tighten some things up, and he'll get there. But you know, right now he's not there. But Stephen Fulton beat him, so that's a big feather in his cap with me. These guys are fantastic fighters, and I really hope people appreciate the fight tonight. There's no need to push agendas. There's no need to try to have this fake cultural and or racial superiority. We're all, listen, I push this. I want to push this message, right? I want to push this message as much as humanly possible because there's a lot of miserable people in the world. There's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, they want to project their miserable ways onto others. Now, I'm not here to try to make people be more miserable than they already are. I'm here to actually be a light in this dark world if I can be. So, like, if I were to cut, if I'm from America, all right, I'm from America, I'm American, and you know, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican descent. If I were to cut my arm open, I would bleed red. If Cash Cow, who's in Australia, cut his arm open, he would bleed red. If my boy in Long Island, Wacky Movie Clips, John, if he would cut his arm open, he'd bleed red. And I say this to say that we're all humans at the end of the day. Like, we're all humans. We all generally want the same things in life. We want to be loved. We want to be appreciated. We want to be content in life. We want to make decent money so we don't got to struggle. We all want the same things. You know, humans just complicate life and they make it harder than it has to be. But, like, there's no need to hate on people because where they come from. If anything, we should embrace that because there's beautiful things in all cultures. Like, take my friend Johnny, for example. He's from Argentina. So I get exposed a lot to Argentinian culture, things that I think are pretty cool about Argentinian culture, music and things like that. So just be appreciative because once you get past all the mindless drivel of racism and race and all that stuff, you might actually find out that the person that you thought you were least like, you were the most like. So there's a gem and a half. I've been following boxing for 20 years and YouTube boxing channels for a few years now, and out of all of them, True School Sports has become my favorite because BT keeps it 100 and holds every fighter accountable. We do our best. All we can do in our life is do our best, and that's what I'm doing. So I appreciate you John, you've been a great person to interact with over the years. I can stand everyone but the LDBC, but they put nothing but internet panhandlers race baiting. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Cash Cow says, BT, I only got one suggestion. Can we do a weekly Rick Glazer interview? What happened to that guy? It's we haven't done an interview in a long time because of me. Not because of him, it's been because of me. I just been busy. Like last time I interviewed Rick was March or February. And then like from that point on, I just been traveling, and then my dad had a heart attack, and then then I almost left YouTube, then I came back, then I had other things going on in life. So I haven't had a chance to really get Rick on the channel. All I know though is if I text him to do it like right now, he'd do it right now because Rick loves being on True School Sports. But we'll get Rick on the channel. I'm just I got other things I'm focused on right now, but we'll get Rick channel. We'll get Rick on the channel more consistently soon because me and him do have quite a lot to talk about. Louis Quintero, hold on. Louis Quintero says Acts 17:26. Let's look it up. Hold that thought, Johnny. Acts 17:26 says there you go, Acts 27:16 or Acts 17:26. In fact, if there was ever a time to screen share, that's Mother Loving screen share. All right, Acts 17:26. For one man, he made all nations, and that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he marked out their appointed times history in the boundaries of their lands. There you go, hitting them with that biblical truth today here on True School Sports.
I got a random question.
Go ahead.
To do with boxing, but do you guys eat hot sauce with your chicken?
Do any of y'all eat hot sauce with your chicken? Johnny needs help. When will we see your pops again? Soon. I don't know when, but soon. We'll get him on the channel soon. He's just been going through some health things recently, so I'm letting Pops get some time away from YouTube because his health is a bit. It's not the best right now. He said, "Damn, Pheno boxing is fine as hell. She's cool. She all right. Carl says, I'm out, boys. Off to the ground for me. Have a great night tonight. Can't wait to see the new champ tonight. Peace. All right, Carl. God bless you, champ. We'll see you later. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Shaka says, no, she ain't. To me, she's all right. Like, she's cool. She's cool. Like, I'm from South Florida, man. So, like, it takes a lot to impress me when it comes to, like, I've seen it all. I've seen every woman, every nationality, every ethnic group you can think of. It's not like, I'm not gonna be easily impressed. That's one of the good things about growing up in South Florida. Do you listen to R. Kelly when you're thinking about a woman? No, no, I don't. I don't. I think I listen to Michael Henderson, the Stylistics, Alicia Keys. At least that's what I've been listening to recently when I do think about, when my mind does drift off and I think about a particular woman who will remain nameless, but y'all know. True School Shalom, my bro. It's man down today and tomorrow and forever. Talking about Earl Spence. Man, shout out to Earl Spence. Shout out to everybody out there. But look, on that note, guys, I gotta start getting ready to go to this fight. So I'm gonna end the live, but stay tuned to the channel because there might be a live tonight. In fact, hold on, I'll let you guys know now. Maybe Angelo will hit me up back. You see, nah, Angelo hasn't got back to me yet, so I don't know if there's gonna be a live tonight. But if there is, Johnny and Angelo will be running the live for me, so y'all can talk to them, and I'll be at the Figueroa fight, and then I'll probably come back later on after. We might even do another live after that. So a lot of stuff going on here on True School Sports. Making things happen. Last question, and then I'm gonna head out of here. Funk Ray says, "Hey BT, when you're back in Vegas, maybe you could interview Luis Manda again. I like hearing his insights." I'm here right now. I'm gonna be here for 2 extra weeks, so we'll put that on the agenda. But on that note, guys, you guys take care. God bless. Enjoy the fights, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just Kevin Daniels. So until next time, take care, guys.